Honestly, the hardest thing about game development may not be what you think. You see, recently I uploaded a video talking about adding magic to my game. Well, after weeks of making those spells, the next step was to implement the talent or skill system. But I quickly realized that in order to give the player the ability to easily swap spells around out from the skill tree and onto the skill bar, like in WoW or ESO, well, all of those spells I made would not work with the system I have to create. So all of that work, yeah, that's gone now. Motherfucker. Now I needed to make some sort of skill tree before actually making the skills themselves, so I needed to figure out what actually makes a good skill tree. Honestly, out of any talent system I've tried, Elder Scrolls Online has the best one because it truly allows you to design a class of your own playstyle by offering a wide variety of trees and abilities to choose from. You're not just locked into whatever tree you decide to take, which in turn helps to eliminate the problems of metagaming since there are so many different possibilities when it comes to your build. But the problem with ESO's system is that it's confusing as hell and not very beginner friendly, like at all. Really, unless you memorize the spells and their morphs, it's damn near impossible for a noob to get a good grasp without watching any YouTube videos. No. We don't want none of that. Compared to something like New World, where it's simple, you pick a weapon, you can see all the abilities and how all the different talents affect them, pick, choose, and get wrecked by some musket nerd, then quit the game. In all seriousness though, we want to eliminate the need for outsourced information as much as possible for casual players, while also providing content creators with the ability to theory craft and post their findings for the more sweaty side of the community. I mean, that's assuming that this game will be that popular or something. Subscribe if you want a beta test. While taking this into consideration, I realized that what New World does is make things easy to understand by laying it all out in front of your face. The same goes for World of Warcraft. These two games' trees have a vertical top to bottom layout where you clearly have to pick one thing to get the next. But what they're missing is the ability to have a wide variety of choice as you become locked into whatever tree you choose. Where in ESO, you can literally take any damn ability you want and are only locked on the weapon abilities because it wouldn't make sense to use dagger abilities with a restoration staff, right? That just doesn't make sense. So I got on Photoshop and quickly made a rough sketch of what things would look like, combining the clear visibility that comes with New World and World of Warcraft, but also the direct versatility and wide range of options that ESO provides. I also decided to detach the passives from the tree the same way that ESO does, compared to New World and WoW where it's all kind of like interconnected, like you have to get this passive to get this ability. Yeah, no. I did this because it allows me to make direct adjustments to the passives or the skills themselves without either one causing too much conflict, which was always something that I thought was a big problem with WoW. So now that I had my different trees and layouts, it was time to actually build it. And this is where things took a turn for the worse, because this is where I discovered the hardest thing about game dev is UI. Holy shit, above anything else, this is the one thing where I was truly almost done. Like literally, my finger was over that delete button. See, the problem is I needed to figure out how to make the system directly work with the abilities and character itself, while also making sure that it's laid out in a graphical format that's easy to understand, making sure simple things like being able to click the next ability only once you've unlocked the previous one, and only if you have enough skill points, as well as making sure the abilities are triggering correctly when dragged onto the bars, and also being able to drag one ability from the bar to the other button on this button over there and this and that, all while making sure it looks semi-decent. This was an absolute nightmare. Essentially, I had to figure out how to transfer the spell data from the skill tree to the action bar to the player's inputs. So I tried accomplishing this by using a data table, and for the most part, it worked. But I ran into a massive issue where for some reason, I could not get it to allow you to put a skill point in with this single ability for some reason, just this one ability. It literally took me weeks to figure out the problem, and it turns out the issue was that I set a value within the character blueprint for testing to a value of 2 instead of a value of 1, but then I forgot about it. So because there's so much interconnectedness between the system, I kept looking within the blueprints of the actual slots themselves and the skill trees and the action bars. I was looking over there and I could not figure out to save my life. And I finally decided, you know what, maybe I did something in the character blueprint. Let me just check there. So yeah, turns out the value was just set wrong. So maybe UI isn't actually the hardest, I'm just stupid. Moral of the story, if you're gonna add an arbitrary number to test something, make sure you note it somewhere or change it back immediately, because seriously, that was one of the dumbest things I have ever done. But now that I got it all working, I'm starting to create the actual spells, and if you wanna see how I accomplished that using this new skill system, make sure to like and subscribe for the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, love you, bye.